Hello guys, how's it going? Now in this video I want to give you guys some really good ideas and information on how you can create and hopefully improve a homemade TCG game. So for those of you that don't know, I've had my channel now for about 5 years, something like that. I've got about 600 and something trading cards done and published on my game, and I've got quite a small player base, which is pretty cool, and I think that is what a lot of people try to aim for. They want to create a really cool game and they want to have players playing the game. So I might not be as big as some of the videos what you can search for, such as Chaos Galaxy and Scribbles with Rachel and stuff like that, but I've got plenty of ideas on how you guys can start creating a TCG, or how you guys can even just improve your TCG. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into the video. Now I've got two screens running. You will see me in one screen, and then I've got my main screen down on the bottom, down below. So first off, what makes a TCG? I've seen many TCGs come and go over the years I've been on YouTube. A lot of people, they come up with some amazing artwork, some amazing games, and then they just disappear, or they just die down and flake off. And personally, I think that myself and Chaos Galaxy at the moment are probably the two longest running creators who are still active on YouTube. So when you are creating your TCG, try and think of a name which is it just doesn't sound generic. Try and think of something absolutely unique to your game. So at some point you're going to have to sit down, get a notepad and a pen, create some ideas. You've got your theme, you've got how we'll go through how to create your game later on in this video, but try and think of a name and try not to make it just too like a lot of others. You can very easily just go into YouTube, type in homemade TCG, and you will see what I mean. You want a name which really stands out. Like I said, try and make it match your theme, and then we'll take it from there. Now, when it comes to creating your TCG, you're going to have two options. You're going to have actual homemade cards. These are ones that you make at home, and you can practically sell them on if you wanted to. And then you're going to have the Game Crafter, or websites very similar to the Game Crafter, who will basically, you upload your files to it, and then the Game Crafter will print out your cards and deal with the whole sale of things, and publishing and selling to people who want to buy them. They handle all the payments, and both sides have got their own pros and cons. Obviously with the homemade ones, you're putting your dedication and your time into it. To get yourself off the ground, it is quite expensive. You're going to need a decent printer. You're going to be wasting a lot of ink on these things, and then obviously the slightest error or misjudgment, you're going to be replacing the cards. But once you've got the knack down to it, they are very easy to do. Whereas the Game Crafter, it's a very linear process. You upload them, they print them. It's as simple as that. And they also do the packaging and all your booklets and your little accessories and stuff like that. The difference between the two is very minimal if you can find the correct tutorials. So once you've decided on how you're going to publish your game, handmade or via a third party, your artwork is going to be your next port of call. Are you going to create everything by hand, which is what I practically do all the time? And then if you do, you can scan them into a PC, or you're just going to draw them straight onto the card. Or are you going to go digital and really improve your digital art skills, such as how Illuminant Souls deals with his? Obviously, whichever route you take, you're going to improve your own personal skills in that category. Obviously, if you can improve both at the same time, that's that's quite the feat. But yeah, try and stick to one style of artwork. There's one thing I don't particularly like, and that is how people mix digital with hand-drawn. I'd always say try and keep to that one straight and narrow path of what style of artwork you're going to go for. Then after your going to need your layout, which includes your borders, your text boxes, the layout of the icons and stuff like that. And you can get plenty of free icons online. All you've got to do is go into Google and Google free icons, or if you're digitally sound, you could actually make your own icons, which is what a lot of people do. And then when it comes to creating your layouts, don't just go for the first layout you do. Get a piece of paper, like an A4 piece of paper, or multiple pieces of A4 paper, a pen or a pencil, and just draw out the layouts. Just draw out about 10 different layouts, and then you might have one good idea in mind what you really want, but then once you get to your 8th design or something like that, you could really change your mind and think, no, actually this is even better. So just try out different templates, try out different positionings, different, you don't have to worry so much about fonts or anything like that, but we're talking the cost of the card, the name of the card. Is the going to be full art, or is it just going to be in a little box on the card somewhere? So just try and work on that process of elimination and which method you like. You could even go as far as asking people in the community which layout looks best, and obviously that's probably the best way to go in my personal opinion, because once you know what your client base like, you can just go for it, and then you know that people will like that. Moving on to artwork and visually sound things, we need to look at how your game's going to work. Now there's two methods to this. What I see more so in any card game, you've got your fast games and your more slow and advanced games. So your fast games are games that will look a bit like Hearthstone, or I suppose at a push Chaos Galaxy. It is pretty basic. It's easily understandable. And then you've got some slightly more, I don't want to say harder games, but like more advanced games, what take up more, quite a bit more time. It's games similar to like Magic the Gathering, or if you're looking at a homemade TCG, something like Skyscape. So you want, in my personal opinion, over the 5 years that I've been doing this, my own personal opinion is try and go for a faster game, an easy game for people to play. Try not to make your rules too hard, try not to confuse people. Again, you're going to have people out there on YouTube, your viewers, and they're going to say, hang on a minute, this game's a little bit too hard. Not hard, but it's complicated. It might be easy for you as a creator when you're coming up with all these fancy words and all these different abilities and stuff like that, but you've got to think about how other people are going to understand that. And I think that's why these smaller games in the TCG community, the faster games should I say, where you've only got a handful of rules to follow, are really, really getting down with players, and they're getting the action. They're getting a big slice of the pie. So, in my personal opinion, try and go for some faster paced, easy rules, no more than 10-15 minute games, anything like that. That's my own personal opinion. I know my game's a little bit longer, and it is quite complicated to explain to people, but once they've read the rules, it is quite easy. So you've got your layout and your game. Now, your card types are the next thing what you're going to want to watch. Again, try not to think of too many card types. I would say 5 or 6 at a push. Anything more than that, again, you're going to start confusing people who want to try and learn and play your game. And again, try and keep them simple. Action cards or one-off cards or something like that. Your units or your creatures, try and make them sound as obvious as possible, but try not to copy other people's way of mentioning things. Obviously, there are going to be words where they're going to be cross-referenced. That sense of how can I say it, like your way of saying and doing things, then by all means that is probably a really good way to go. What else? Testing your game. You're going to need like a friend or someone online who can play your game with you, and you will need to test out a lot of the combinations, and trust me, take this from me, you will not know about at least 50%, and I can probably guarantee you this, that any TCG creator will agree with me on this. At least 50% of the combinations what come up with your game, you will not discover. Other players will discover these combinations for you. And as a creator, that is actually an amazing feeling, knowing that people are actually going out of the way and playing the game and discovering these combinations. There are plenty in my game which do need attention, but I don't feel like I should take that away from the players. It's just, you know, my rule set is very easy to. A lot of the base rules kind of cover that these combos can't be game breaking. What else? Ideas. Try not to copy what somebody else has done, and that doesn't just mean changing the colours of something. The number I've seen that happened and they've just not got anywhere it's been ridiculous. Obviously things like the card cost, there's so many different ways that you can play a card. You know, in Magic you've got mana, in my game you've got elements. Final Fantasy you discard cards down. You can have a charging method where you gain points over time, similar to how Chaos Galaxy works. There's so many different ways. You know, there's card games where you don't even need to pay a cost. You can just play the card straight out, such as Illumicent. There's so many different ways you can play cards, so you really need to look into this. And again, think about different ways. Think of something what nobody has done. Card orientation, that's another one, which I kind of wish I put into my game, but now it's too late. Everybody has their cards that way. But why not go sideways? It's unique, something different. Again, try and think of these little nifty, unique things. What can spring to mind? You know, they could just be like Magic's version of lands, or my version of terrains and stuff like that. Special cards, you know, anything like that. Now, when you one other thing I want to point out as well before this video gets too long is when you're planning your cards. Once you've got a big list of card names, obviously this is very early game. Try and think of, once you've got like a type of species or a type of card, try and link a few of the cards together. So, and I'm not talking every single card in the game, because then your game would just flop and it would just be stupidly overpowered. But once you've got, let's say you've got like a human species in your game, try and create a couple of other combinations what trigger it. Try and create a couple of main characters for the humans and any other, you know, species or you know, anything like that. Create a couple of main cards that do something when something happens, and then you've got your other cards what actually trigger that ability. Try and think of something like that. Try and, you know, again, as much as I don't want to say it, but you really need to think outside of the box. That's the only advice anyone can give you. Anything after that, it's just completely down to how you advertise your game on social media or YouTube. Again, if you've ever had a YouTube channel, you will know how to create attractive thumbnails and stuff like that. Try and get different types of videos on your channel as well, such as gameplay. Gameplay videos are massive. Pack openings are massive. Those two videos are probably the best ones to create on YouTube. And then you've got all your other ones like your deck profiles and your speed art and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically all anyone can advise on how to create a TCG. It is hard work. I'm gonna put it out there. You do need the dedication. You need the time and the dedication onto your channel, into your game, should I say? Because without that, you will just find yourself at a point where nobody plays your game, nobody's interested in watching your videos, and then you yourself will start feeling bad, and then you will just start going downhill. And then next thing you know, you know, it's been a week since you put a video up, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 3 weeks, and then you'll just get to a point where your game just dies down. So try and keep that dedication, try and keep the videos coming, and obviously speak with the other members of the community as well. Get on the Discord channels, get yourself up. There's a lot of younger TCGs which are actually doing really well, and you go on their channel and some of them have got more views than what my channel has, you know, at a quarter of the subscriber count. It's really something. But yeah, you just gotta look, you know, look outside the box, get your design down, you know, get your videos done, looking at ideas. One really good thing as well before we finish is I find a lot of my inspiration comes from music and going out on walks. Once I go outside and walk my dog, you know, all these ideas come to my head on how things can combine with other cards. Listening to music, I listen to a lot of lyrics and music, and I get a lot of ideas from just a couple of words which are blended together, and I'll put a random playlist on, so, you know, something like that. So anyway, I don't want this video being too long because I don't want to bore you guys, but I'm gonna cut it at that and hopefully try and create some more how-to videos in the near future. These on the bottom now are all handmade cards. You know, trial and error. You're gonna have problems with sizing and stuff like that, but yeah. So that's going to be this video anyway, guys. So if you've got any questions, you know, whether it's any suggestions for other people in the community, whether it's a question to me or any other creator in the community, you know, we are always out there willing to answer people's questions. So yeah, just comment away, and if you've not already, just, you know, give my channel a cheeky little subscribe as well, because that's much appreciated. Alright guys, anyway, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you in one of my next videos, and I hope that this video proved ever so slightly useful to you guys. I'll see you later.
Your relationships are never meant to last.